Care amiche e cari amici del MAUTO, Museo Nazionale dell'Automobile di Torino, buonasera. Anche questa sera siamo qui insieme all'appuntamento settimanale con i MAUTalks. Questa sera avremo un appuntamento molto importante, molto interessante, quindi vi do tempo di collegarvi intanto e vi confermo che siamo in procinto di riaprire, siamo molto felici. Il 1° maggio il museo riaprirà le porte, quindi dal 1° maggio speriamo di non dover chiudere mai più. E sapete che il Museo dell'Automobile è aperto 365 giorni l'anno, siamo aperti 7 giorni su 7, solo il lunedì pomeriggio siamo chiusi, quindi speriamo davvero quando riapriremo il 1° che poi quindi vi do appuntamento, vi aspettiamo, abbiamo tantissimi eventi in programma, mostre, celebrazioni, quindi insomma vi aspettiamo, seguiteci, continuate a seguirci così avrete tutti gli aggiornamenti. Allora, questa sera ci spostiamo all'estero, sapete, incontreremo il Conservatoire Citroën, quindi un marchio importantissimo nella storia dell'automobile. Anche noi qui al museo abbiamo nella nostra collezione delle vetture importanti. Citroën, la Francia è un paese che soprattutto nelle origini, diciamo, dell'automobile ha dato veramente tanto, sapete, con i marchi Citroën, Peugeot incontreremo, sarà l'ultimo appuntamento dei MAUTalks il 25 di maggio, quindi incontreremo anche Peugeot e siamo molto felici di avere questa opportunità. Quindi questa sera, adesso vado subito a collegarmi con Crespin, che è il direttore generale diciamo di tutto il mondo heritage del gruppo Peugeot Citroën, adesso diciamo per quanto riguarda Stellantis dei gruppi Citroën, Peugeot e DS, quindi è il responsabile di tutto questo mondo, ha delle cose interessantissime da raccontarci, quindi provo subito a collegarmi, andremo vicino a Parigi, de Gaulle, quindi vediamo Xavier se è collegato, vedremo anche qualche pezzo della loro collezione. Eccoci qua. Ehi Xavier, bonsoir, bonsoir. How
Ciao
are you?
Torino.
Ah, ciao,
I'm very
ciao
good, thank
Xavier.
you.
Che bello vederti. Ciao Xavier. Oh, it's a very nice day, very nice weather in Paris.
It, it,
In
it's
Olney.
by
In
kind of
Olney.
it's by kind of Italian welcome.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it. Here in Turin, the weather is not as nice as in Olney today. Wow, look at that. So, Xavier, first of all, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining the MAUTalks. We are very happy to have this chance to meet you. So, first of all, can I ask something about yourself? So, how long have you been managing director of this very important and interesting area of the heritage at Citroën, Peugeot and DS?
Actually, it's been now a bit more than 5 years. I joined early 2016. This non-profitable organization which is in charge of the heritage of the French brand of the Stellantis group. It's actually, initially, it was a Peugeot family decision to set up this association in order to protect the history from whatever can happen to an industrial automotive group like was PSA at that time.
Right, and so this decision was taken in 2016, or was something that was already in place before you joined?
Actually, the association started with Peugeot in 1982, and then was introduced to Mr. Tavares to enlarge it to the, let's say, Citroën and DS brand in 2015. So the actual l'aventure Peugeot Citroën DS started in November 2015.
Okay, so you joined just, I mean, when this decision was taken, let's say, from the new management, let's say, of Mr. Tavares and so. But you were working you had been working in the group before.
Yeah, it's true. I was in the past long time with Peugeot. I had 17 years in operation for Peugeot. Started with what was very exciting Formula One, being my introduction to Peugeot. And I was in 1994 with McLaren. And I had an incredible experience, almost 10 years in Formula One. And then I moved to, let's say, international experience as an expatriate in Central Europe for Peugeot. I was commercial director and marketing director for Slovenia, for Hungary, and finally with Poland. And I ended my career with Peugeot as communication director, and I was in Paris in 2011.
I see. Okay, wow, a very interesting experience as well for you. So, Xavier, just tell me now, the place where you are now, the building where you are now, where the collection, the Conservatoire Citroën is kept, let's say. What is it? Is it an historic building? Is it part of the factory facility? Where are you?
I missed to show you the outskirts of the current Conservatoire. It was a long time ago the most modern car plant in Paris, in Aulnay-sous-Bois. It was built in 1975 to actually assemble the Citroën CX. So it was a very modern plant at that time. But then it was sold. It is now sold. There's no more car manufacturing here. It's a logistic platform. We are ideally positioned between the Charles de Gaulle Airport and the city of Paris. So it's north of Paris. At that time, I think it was in 2001, when to the initiative of Pierre Peugeot on one side, who was the head of PSA Group, connected with Claude Statinet, who was the director of Citroën, they decided they would put together in one place the collection, the car collection of Citroën. And that's how everything started. It was only a question of having a warehouse where they could gather and collect all the cars and protect them. And that's how it started in 2001. And from now, it's under our responsibility, and we try to develop there many services for whoever likes Citroën, whoever collects Citroën.
All right. So very interesting. So how many cars are in this facility where you are now?
Actually, we have here in this warehouse, as you can see, a total number of 280 cars. And it's only 40% of the actual Citroën collection. The rest is kept in Sochaux, in the plant of Sochaux, as a reserve.
Yes, Sochaux, that is close to in the area of Mulhouse, and also that we met the Cité dell'Automobile. We already met Aurélien Weissrock, which we say hello to Aurélien. Okay, so, but this is not just a warehouse, because indeed this is a museum. This is open to, not today because of the COVID restrictions you still have, but this is a place, let's say a site, which is accessible to visitors. It's open to the public.
Yes, you're right. It's also part of the mission that we've been given to actually generate some revenues out this facility. And we have it open to the public when it's possible, from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock every day. Let's say 6 days a week. We only close on Sundays. And we also propose to people that they could be given a guided tour of the collection with volunteers, ex-workers of the plant we used to have here in Aulnay. So we do have in-house an organization, an association of the ex-Citroën workers in the plant that are now guiding the visitors in the collection.
Okay, wow, interesting. So, and you can see there all the 280 cars. So if you enter this museum, you can see all of them. So the oldest one, let's say, what is it? Is it because the Citroën, as I was saying when I introduced you, is one of the most, let's say, historical brands in the automotive history. So now it was the first car, I think, is from 1919, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry because I had it on the picture to start, but this is the car. That's where and how everything started in 1919. This
wow,
is,
lovely.
it's not actually the very first car, but it's what we call a Type A, which is basically what Citroën introduced at that time. And it's quite interesting story, actually, because when Citroën introduced his own car company, he was not the first one. You know, he came, let's be honest, some time after the others. But he came with an American way. So he came with the idea that he will bring to people a bit of an accessibility to cars. So he came with the car, which was basically all included. So he had in mind that the car should be with no, let's say, additional accessories to add up, but to have everything in one and to have it very cheap. So when he introduced his first car in the market, it was 3 times cheaper than any other car on the market. And that's how we believe Citroën was able to come with a bit of a revolution in this car industry.
Wow, very, very interesting. So, but then the brand developed because, I mean, you have really outstanding technological innovations brought to the industry with the traction avant, the S. I mean, it was really, I mean, high-end engineering contribution to the industry.
Actually, and I wanted to show you the difference and how is the difference between what we call a Rosalie, which was the last car before traction avant, and the traction avant. You see from here the exact difference. And actually, the traction avant was introduced, as you can see on the plate, in 1934, when Rosalie was actually in 1936, because the market would not accept to have such a lower car. In comparison, you see the height difference, which is massive. So people would trust a lot more the Rosalie than they would trust the traction avant. So that's how came the difficulty of Citroën, introducing a revolution in the car industry, but people will trust better the old car, the security car, the state car. They couldn't believe that this car would be the best alternative.
Wow, interesting. We also have in MAUTO, in our collection, we have a traction avant. That is a very, very interesting car indeed. And then what else do you have? Oh, let me see. Oh, lovely.
You probably know the story of the 2CV, but the 2CV was a TPV to start, and that was the official homologated car before it was stopped by the World War, because it's a 1939 production, and it was the day of the declaration of the war was unfortunately the homologation of this car. So they had to destroy all the cars, and only were left 5 of them, and we have recovered 3 from a building in 1994 that we are keeping as it was when we discovered the cars in the building.
Oh,
so
wow.
these are real TPV from Citroën before it became, and I show you in a minute, the 2CV.
The 2CV.
This one is a quite recent, but we have here a nice version of how the 2CV appeared just after the World War.
Wow, interesting. That
Here
was
you have
also, what was the concept behind the 2CV was, because that was also very innovative in terms of design. Huh? It was completely new and different. It still is very different car. Huh?
If you remember, the only car that Citroën was actually selling was the traction avant. So they had the top of the range proposition, and they wanted to introduce after the Second World War a bit of easy, accessible car that could be fitting with major needs of the people. So the brief that they were given to the engineers was to be able to drive anywhere in the country, so throughout the countryside, with a bag of eggs without breaking any. So they had to develop simple cars with the best suspension ever in order to protect the eggs to break when driving the car. So that's how they managed to actually come up with the 2CV.
Wow. And then, of course, you have the S there, because that's also one of the most important cars. I mean, we have the designers. I mean, in our museum we have a section dedicated to the most important designers in the automotive industry, and most part of them say that they would have loved to have designed the S. That is the dream car for a designer. And that was by chance it was an Italian designer, huh? Yes, so it was a collaboration between Italy and France.
Ah, yes, you're right to remind me. Actually, I have to show our Italian corner, because you're right to mention that nothing would be the same at Citroën without with our Italian touch. And we have a dedicated space for Flaminio.
Yeah, Flaminio Bertoni, let's remind him. Yeah, very smart. Wow, look at this.
So we have a dedicated in our area, dedicated to Flaminio.
Nice. Nice. Wow, lovely. Yeah. Wow. That's for sure. It's a milestone in the industry. The S. So it's really something
under the protection of André Citroën, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Very interesting. And so also, can I ask you if do you take care of the maintenance and conservation of the collection, or I mean, do you have a workshop facility there?
So as an introduction also to our organization, I have to say that we have to generate maximum capacity to integrate revenues and in order to be independent. So today we live with a quite substantial subvention from the group, but we have this subvention decreasing 15% every year. So we have to generate our own revenues. And to do that, we develop spare parts for the people who are looking for capacity to basically maintain and restore their own cars. And because we have these spare parts, we are able also to have a working workshop with our mechanics dedicated to our customers. So you could be surprised, there's some Peugeot in our workshop, but here we take care of client car specific to our brand. So no surprise, you have a DS.
Right.
Lovely Cabriolet 304 from Peugeot. The yellow one is a 306.
Yes.
And you have also in this workshop, you see all type of cars that are and could be young timers. And some of our mechanics are still working at that time. Very happy.
Okay. So just to make it clear, so you have a workshop there in the same facility. You have mechanics. How many of them? How many people are working in the workshop?
We have 4 mechanics full-time in Olney.
Okay, so 4 mechanics taking care of clients' classic cars or young timers, yeah. So which are part of the, let's say, the company brands. So can be Citroën or Peugeot. Wow, that's very special. So you act like like a normal workshop in the market, huh? Wow, that's very interesting. And do you also do certification of authenticity of the cars? So yes, you do. Okay. Wow.
We try to have whatever would anyone loving the brand be looking for. So there's a archive center in Sochaux where we provide pictures, videos, documents, certificates, basically, so people will be able to register the car as a classic car. We have, you probably noticed when we entered the building last time, the boutique, because we also resell merchandising from the brand, our own merchandising too. We are able to rent cars from our collection whenever the brands or anybody particular wants to hire a car for a wedding, for instance. We are able to provide.
Okay. Wow.
We are also organizing events in our facilities. So we do clear the whole facility from cars and then we set capacity for an event. It's also a very important revenue for our organization.
But you probably mentioned this already, but you mentioned the spare parts. But so regarding spare parts, do you also produce spare parts and you sell them as well? How does it work? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So today, I mean, because please.
Today you cannot find spare parts, all spare parts. It's also, let's say, a difficult situation when it comes to popular brands like Citroën. So we started some 7 years ago to develop our own catalog of spare parts. Today we are all together with all the brands with 18,000 references and an online web shop for the spare parts, and it's let's say the #1 revenue of our organization, and we do distribute all over the world. We have now a fantastic logistic platform, and most of our customers in let's say in France and close countries like Italy, we may deliver in 2 days. So it's a very, let's say, reactive and important business for us.
Wow, congratulations, Xavier. This sounds really impressive. 18,000 spare parts. Wow, that's huge. That's wow, interesting. And and this business, let's say, is based on the archive that you have. So you have access to the original documentation from the factory, both Citroën and Peugeot.
Yeah, you're right to mention, because when there is no more of these spare parts, thanks to the documents we have in our archive center, we are able to reproduce. And today it's a difficult job, I have to say, because it's a very long-lasting process, but we do reproduce spare parts just as if they were genuine. So based on the brief from the brand, so it basically is exactly the same. So we managed to develop
Let's see if he comes back. So that's very, very interesting to hear. Ah, okay, you're back. You're back, Xavier. Okay, good. Wow, that's so. I understand you don't miss the Formula One that much. You're busy there, huh? You're back. Yes, hi. Okay, good. So I could see there are followers really appreciating the availability of spare parts from the fact. Oh, look at this. Where are we? What's this? The boutique?
Yes. It's
Okay.
basically at the entrance, to give you a final tour. Behind the boutique, we have some offices that we use for our people.
Yes.
In here, and used to have also an archive department that we transferred. We transferred the whole archive to Sochaux in order to put together one and only archive center.
I see. Because so you have to divide yourself between Aulnay, Sochaux. You travel a lot. So what is your typical week, Xavier? How do you manage with all these brands and activities?
I try to be myself every week, visiting every facility. So I used to spend when it wasn't COVID, I have to say, because now these days I'm mostly staying around Paris where I live. So usually I spend a day here in Aulnay, then I have a day in Poissy where the Stellantis group is organized. So it's then an opportunity for me to get together with the brand. And then I spend 2 days in Sochaux where we have the L'Aventure Peugeot Museum that we'll have a chance to introduce later in May. I have most of my people there in Sochaux, with also the archive center in Héry-Moncourt. So it's a mix. I do travel quite a lot during the week.
Wow. And in normal times, you also attend events with your cars. So you you have pretty important events like Le Mans Classique, you have Chantilly, Concours d'Elegance. There are many events. So, what are your plans this year? Have you something in the pipeline, something in program? Is it restarting, or are you still waiting to see? Yeah, fingers crossed. Yes.
We are trying to think that everything will be slowly getting back to normal from mid-May. We have an idea to attend what they call classic days in Manicourt, which is a famous French circuit, and they have a weekend dedicated to classic cars, racing classic cars. So we intend to be there, and that would be early June. And after, it's mostly postponed, let's say, to during the summer. We have Traversée de Paris. So there's a very nice Sunday dedicated to crossing the whole Paris with classic cars, and we end up for a big picnic in Meudon. And that will be happening, I think it's the 25th of July. End of August, there is a Tour Auto, which is a very famous 1 week rally, where we will be going there to support the Peugeot and Citroën participating. And then after, in September, can't remember exactly, but there's another big happening for Peugeot early October. For the members of our association, we have a international rally every year. We have it in a different country every year, and this year it's in Sochaux. We were planning to have it last year, but it was obviously cancelled. And we'll have it this year in Sochaux, celebrating motorsport with Peugeot. So I would be very excited at that time.
Okay, interesting. Wow, you have a very intense program also for this year. Huh? So, well, fingers crossed and good luck, Xavier. It seems like, yeah, I hope that everything will be fine, that we are getting better now, recovering. Yeah, good. Okay, so I think, is there something else we needed to talk about, something that we didn't mention? So do you have any date so far for the reopening of the Conservatoire, or no idea yet?
We are left with authorization, basically, and the plan is to reopen 15th of May. So we do everything in order to reopen on the 15th of May. We have this special machine that are to distribute the alcoholic in order to clean your hands. You know, it's
I see. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Okay. Wow, that's not too bad. That's good. Okay. Sure. Yes, of course. Wow. Well, I hope you will get many visitors after the 15th of May. Yeah? I hope there will be many of them. Good.
We are really looking forward to reopening. Yeah. It's now been very long for us. Yeah. I'm very sorry for most of my people that have been on the dole for many months now. But everybody is now thinking that tomorrow will get better, and I hope it will be the same for everybody.
I hope so, and I'm sure. I mean, there are a lot of passionates who can't wait to go back to their beloved cars and events, and so let's hope for a nice summertime. Okay, good. So Xavier, that was lovely and thank you for taking us through the Conservatoire. And so we'll see you again at the end of May, 25th of May, with Peugeot, with L'Aventure, Peugeot. Okay, good, very nice. And so thanks a lot again, and take care. So good luck.
Grazie mille.
Stay safe. Grazie a te, Xavier. Arrivederci. Ciao, a presto. Ciao. Arrivederci. Ciao. Bene, allora io vi do appuntamento a tutti martedì prossimo. Abbiamo un piccolo cambio di programma perché abbiamo scambiato il museo Ferruccio Lamborghini con il museo Pagani, quindi facciamo prima il MAUTalk con il museo Ferruccio Lamborghini, quindi con il signor Tonino Lamborghini, e poi il martedì successivo invece incontreremo il museo Pagani, Orazio Pagani. Quindi ci vediamo martedì prossimo, non perdetevi questo altro importantissimo museo. Torniamo in Emilia al museo Ferruccio Lamborghini. Un caro saluto a tutti, buona serata, grazie per averci seguito come sempre. Grazie, a presto, arrivederci, vi aspettiamo al MAUTO da sabato 1° maggio. Arrivederci, a presto.